Play the clip, Envy.
What's up, guys? It's Envy. We're back on the Envious of Me channel. Now, it has been a long time coming since we planned on doing this with Coach Nova. Turns
Coach
out,
Novah.
yeah, Coach Nova, no?
Well, I mean, I'm just Nova, but you know,
Nova and
I'm Nova
Nova.
I'm Nova who coaches. You know, I get to do so.
Yeah, Nova who coaches, Coach Nova, basically the same thing.
Fair enough. Hello, hello, lovely chat, YouTube viewers, active listeners.
Anywho,
Yeah, true.
damn, only I get to flame me.
Our 50 view count on this video is gonna go hard.
Hey, don't worry, when I clickbait the fuck out of everything, it'll go even harder.
That's fair enough.
What'd you say about Antic? Oh, who knows?
Oh
Um,
no! Oh god! Oh god!
right.
No! 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 No!
So we're gonna start off by pretty much bringing up one of the most recent amateur tournaments that happened. I've not had a chance to discuss this, nor did I play, so I get backlash because I lose. So we're gonna talk about the Mcom. It was the Iron to Diamond tournament, I believe.
Uh, Iron to diamond, but there's like an asterisk next to diamond,
Yes, because it
where it's like
has
diamond, but not actually diamond.
uh yes, some tournaments do end up like that. Asterisks. Quite a lot of them.
I
Uh
think you could asterisk both the teams' entire rosters that were in the finals. Actually, coincidentally, how strange is that?
Maybe not Trash Can. He's a bit of a bum.
Oh, that's actually true.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was the
yeah,
worst
yeah.
player in that final by miles. No offense, Trash Can. Love you, buddy, but
Heaps of offense. We mean it. I ran into him in solo queue once. He fucking took my LP. Oh, did to me. Metaphorically, of course.
fair enough.
Um, yeah. So my take on this, and I think we're pretty similar. Uh, I didn't like the fact that it was a buy-in tournament because people had to pay an entry fee, which is fine. But it is the way that people are going to up because of people want to play for something. But
Yep,
it was a very scuffed event, which in a event where you pay an entry fee, there should be a level
professionalism. Yeah,
that has to maintain. And your rules cannot or should not be broken for anyone, regardless of who they are to you.
yeah, I agree with that.
And it kind of, to me, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Obviously, didn't play. If I had played, probably would
A
have been
little bit
even worse.
worse. Yeah,
Um, because the thing kind of makes people not
yeah.
back.
If I could just kind of come out shots firing, it's very typical of Mcom. Well, before I start flaming the absolute shit out of them, because that's what I'm going to do, I will say anyone that runs a tournament publicly in OC Amateur has my unwavering respect to be able to carry our amateur scene. It's so important.
Yep.
Um, since I've become like more professional and LCO adjacent, people don't take pride in our region. Like our players don't, our coaches don't. So like we need someone to, and like it all starts with grassroots, all starts with amateur. So respect to them for doing it, but if you're gonna do it, you also need to have some pride and some heart in it. Blasm wasn't even around for the last like 4 or 5 weeks of the tournament. Didn't know what the playoff format was. Said it was Razy's tournament and it was Razy's fault, but he's apparently the head of tournaments. Didn't have a stream organized for the last like 5 weeks. Me and Spinach had to carry the streams. Just randomly, just because we wanted to have fun and laugh at our friends. Um, it just it started. It just felt almost like a bit of a fame and cash grab from Mcom to say, hey, look, we're doing stuff. Give us money to run stuff. But then they didn't actually do it. The tournament almost became entirely run by the players. Like we ended up voting on how we would do the playoff format, which is just absurd. This should all be predetermined before you start a tournament. At least when I've run tournaments, which I mean you know from back when I've done Coliseum for both high and low elo. We had a format, we had everything planned out before we hit the go button. We don't just make it up as we go along.
and like regardless of what you try to predeterminedly, it stays that way.
Yep,
And
exactly.
if it ends up being bad, you pop it, you take it on the chin from the on, and
You
next
take the
time
you take the feedback. You take the feedback, yeah.
it
But
just
yeah.
uh,
Sorry, there's just so many problems, man. I mean, the ELO brackets were set purely so the Mcom favorites, which is like Teza Masana, like those guys obviously weren't called Mcom, but they're the same as like a the Ooga Booga Solid Bowler that ended up winning a Weekend Warriors because they're very much affiliated with us, just like Teza and stuff are affiliated with them. Um, just so they could play, and that just creates a really shit experience for everyone else because you've got Emerald 4 players going against players that are Masters 200 LP. Like, how do you think that goes?
yeah, it if there was like no money involved, right? No buy-in fee, no fee for the tournament as themselves because from the prize pool, right? In
Yeah,
terms of stream and stuff, which to me is the
which they didn't do,
biggest,
by the way.
yeah, which is the biggest red flag. Only for the fact that if you're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna take this amount of money to pay casters, broadcasters, then you actually have to have casters and broadcasters and a
From
tournament.
from from my knowledge, they didn't pay Rhaegar or Baz when they cast the first two
Yeah,
weeks, and they definitely didn't pay me and Spinach. So
I don't.
I don't know where that money went besides just raise his pocket, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happened there. Obviously, me and Razy, we don't much anymore, but
It's
uh,
just speculation. I don't want to like shit talk Razy too hard. It is just
yeah,
speculation at the end of the day, but
yeah, like I don't have to my knowledge when the tournament was announced, and that's what I was told. Mention from it was is obviously it's not like throw money on the ground type, wave in it type.
you had a buy-in from the team, so that should be enough to run a tournament,
Yeah,
whether it be a prize pool or paying broadcasters or coaches or admins. But as I said, just at the end of it, which is that the playoffs is supposed to be the most hype, but it's ever a time in a tournament that you really focus on massive quality, it's always knockout stages. Look at Worlds. No one really, I mean, the groups are more exciting now, but no one really cared about groups and worlds before. But the knockouts is where they really go flashy. You know, the finals, the grand finals, they have the big show, like the big Mastercard opening ceremony, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that we need a fucking Mastercard ceremony for OC Iron to Masters, but like that's where you should be. Like you should have like a pre-game like analyst desk, hype it up. You know, have data from the game, the two finalists, talk about the things that the players have done good. Like really hype it up, make those players feel good, make the scene feel good. But instead, we had an absentee admin and a stream that was organized quite literally 5 minutes before from two people who aren't even associated with Mcom.
yeah,
That's mental, man. And the crazy thing is that it is just negligence because I had offered to stream and broadcast for the previous 4 or 5 weeks, which you would have seen in chat. I'd said I will broadcast, I will get Weekend Warriors players to help out, because this is just a bit shit, and it makes me sad when it's a bit shit because I'm someone that actually takes a lot of pride in my scene.
yeah, because I one of the MCOM for that I think it was
It's the one that we got finals in was also not streamed in the finals for the first game.
yeah
This is
because
very MCOM history.
I think I was in the chats and stuff. Like there was no like notice or anything. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm not game one. Oh
But like, yeah, I don't know. I still think that the org is at fault there, right?
yeah, you gotta
Like
have a
you
backup
gotta
plan.
you gotta chase up, you gotta organize.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
if you like out to people, like I, depending on the day, I think it was on Thursdays, right? If I'm not mistaken. Um,
Uh,
Essentially, you reach out to me, you reach out to you. I probably would have gone on like an right.
yeah,
Tell you
exactly.
today,
You know all the players, yeah.
yeah.
Like
Happy to flame pressure any chance I get.
Exactly.
And like we could have had banter off of it on the desk, even if it's not the most high quality X from either of us.
It doesn't
Right?
need to be though. It just needs to be entertaining and
Yeah.
have some heart in it. It doesn't have to. I'm not expecting LPL or LCK out of OCE. There just needs to be some heart in it. Like people liked me in Spinach casting, even though Spinach has no idea how to actually cast, because we were just rambling and having fun. It made it watchable, right? As opposed to just nothing.
I I always liked the idea of, instead of trying to be like an NFL, right, like a official sports broadcast, better off being like the WWE. I don't know if you
I agree. I agree. I agree with
analytics,
that. I agree with that.
because we're always going to get more attention, more fun just by like, oh, I went on Twitter and I'm like, well, I don't really actually have to play the game this week because I'm playing again, right? And then we show up, he claps me, memes get made, right? And then, oh, I look fucking horrible.
But it goes deeper than that though, right? Like when you look at the cast, it's just do you do you find it more entertaining to have some people who don't really know what they're talking about when it comes to the players of the game talking about the game or the players? Or would you find it more entertaining just having some casters or analysts that just talk about the game for what it is? And like
I
that's what me and Spinach found.
personally, if I'm gonna watch the games, I'm more invested in people playing the game, right? So I'd rather people
Exactly. Yeah.
about the players, because if I'm being honest, if I wanted to watch high level analytics inside the game casting, like not trying to like throw any shade of like us, right? You have to start somewhere, but I could just go watch the LPL on at the same time.
Yeah.
By watching kind of stuff. It is in storylines that drive me to, oh, how did Griff do in this get tournament? Oh, he got clapped. That's kind of funny. Let's mention him in the Ed Petty on my hit list of players
It is what it is.
because
Everyone
of
has one.
2019.
2019. Man's holding on
Oh.
the grudge set. Hey man, all I'm saying is that the last time Griff played an Iron to Gold, it was me that retired him in my rookie year. What can I say?
Yeah, we could.
Tesla champion, MVP Nova, coming at you, holding on to that 2019 trophy.
Don't worry. I'm pretty sure I got that. I forgot which year Mcom Gap was, which turned out to have this on it, but it technically still won. But that's my
Fucking.
fucking big tournament victory.
There's always an asterisk next to Envy's wins.
No, no, I had Sonic Boom for a little bit, right? Where I was playing some the Iron to Plats, and then I
Yeah, but
ran winning.
you never won a ladder with him though.
Nah, I don't. I think I've only won one ladder.
Oh, that was Imco Gap, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I was that before or after I was around?
You
So
were around, but
my
I think
first
you
one
like
was
retired.
like Tesla, and then I like stuck around and did weeklies, and then I think I got into coaching,
Yeah,
which is the better.
it was BSV's like last big, like
Oh,
BSV's last big thing. The battle BSV like well,
oh
referral.
yeah, I didn't play that one. The last one I played was the BSV Tesla, the Carotox one.
The one that never got as by that one.
Yeah, never got my first place. But hey, man, I in the Tesla Discord, I had the Hall of Fame. That's all that matters, man.
Ah, that is actually all you need, is that social
Yeah,
status
yeah,
of
yeah.
knowing
The
that
social status of being a fucking Iron to Gold champion.
and that any Plat One player would just put you in your place. Yeah, yeah. Nah, it was. Hey yo, what's that? Oh yeah, I'm the champion. I'm the big fish in the small pond. Hey yo, what's
that, that,
that
that,
pond over
that,
there? We don't go to that one.
That's like the it's like it being like no, I won't say it. It's bad for stream actually. I was gonna say the Paralympic swimming champion.
Oh,
Well, it's awesome that you won the gold, but at the end of the day, you're still disabled.
fair. That'll come back to you, not on me, so it's fine.
Might wanna cut that one out. Do some editing.
Got
No,
to
no,
edit
no.
though, eh? Oh, go
Fuck.
free. It'll be
All right.
fine. No one watches these anyway.
Yeah, true, true, true.
Yeah, I'm like,
I can't wait for all the angry tweets. Excuse me, I play OCE League of Legends, and I'm a big Envy supporter, and I am a
where?
Paralympic
Yeah,
swimming champion.
be supporter. All I get is
I,
haha plat win because I'm on like a losing streak in ranked.
yeah, fair
People
enough.
just watch my account, see it go down.
How
But
many people have your OBGD bookmarked?
I don't know, man. But clearly, I'm living in people's heads rent free. That's
All
the
right,
case. So,
moving on.
gonna move on from the MCOM topic of the tournament. Right, we've given them a little bit of time, and
I
now
hate them.
probably the crux of this one, because since our last chat, which would have been quite some time ago, it was apparently 3 years.
Fucking
Um,
hell.
yeah, obviously we've gapped in, but like last official chat,
Official yap. Yeah.
you had moved into coaching, which you had already started before then, but
And
now
LSU.
you've
Yep.
moved upper level. You've been
Hmm.
coaching LCO
Yep.
and being an analyst LCO team.
Yep.
Just
I've
give
done
us
both. Yep.
the time frame from that, and then just us off with that.
Yeah. So I've been coaching obviously since I crushed Envy's hopes and dreams in 2019. I really enjoyed working with players. My IRL job is based on performance, so I'm good at working with people. Um, and I've always had a passion for knowing about the game rather than playing it. So I coached amateur for 2 or 3 years. At the end of this year, at the start of this year, I put my hat in the ring for LCO. Got reached out by Kanga, who a friend of mine who I'd done work with before, had well was on their roster. And worked as a performance coach or assistance coach on Kanga for Split One, where we had 4 rookies and Rue Fury. We got
Hey,
fourth
shout out
place.
Ripuri.
Yeah, I love Rue. Got fourth place in the LCO in Split One, which was actually an insane finish for 4 rookies. I got to work with some insanely special people. I'll give them all shout outs, which is Carter or Invictus, Kurak, obviously, you're my boy Mateo, Sticks and Reeler for the 80 carry and Wood on for top, and obviously Rue. I owe a lot of who I am in the scene to Rue. Um, and after Split One, our team was kind of just disbanding. Like 2 of the players couldn't play anymore, and Mateo ended up going to Ground Zero. So I put my head in the ring again, and got picked up by Antic as a analyst.
So Antic, who was on that roster? Because that's the
That was Raze. That was Zoranus, Foreigner, uh, Incursio slash Raze, and Dragku. And then it was Destiny came in at the end of the split.
so
And head coach was Swiper.
much higher profile team
A
then.
lot higher profile, yeah. I mean, you've got obviously Swiper and Raze are probably 2 of OC's greatest players of all time, I would say. Like Raze was the successor to Radio, who's probably OC's 80 carry goat. Um, and obviously Swips is everyone in the scene knows who Swips is.
Yeah, I don't even watch. I know who he is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, so a lot different from going from working with rookies who have never played before, to seasoned veterans at the end of their career. It was actually a really big step up that, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I kind of wasn't ready for. It was a lot more. It's not that the players themselves were hard to work with. It's that I'd gone from a place of where I could really interrogate and build players from the ground up to working with players that already had foundations. And that wasn't something I was very good at, because normally I was the one building those foundations, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to start the job halfway done and then
Yeah, exactly. And my schematics have always been different because I've always had good enough game knowledge to be able to coach the game. I can coach the game at a high level. But that's not where my strength is. My strength is really in breaking down people and then building them up with that knowledge. But I can't obviously do that to someone who's had the career that Ray's has had or the career that that's just not going to work. Like they have their own way of playing the game that's been very successful for them, and my role of what I should have done better would be to augment that instead of to try and question it.
Because under the again, I had LCO co-streaming, but
I think came
um,
third. We came third. We lost to Team Bliss. We lost to Team Bliss 3-1. And a really close series actually to go to Taiwan. We just missed out on it. So it was better than Kanga. Like Kanga obviously came fourth. But it was still like I'm not so focused on the results as I am about what I learned from each experience, right?
yeah,
So whilst the split was probably a failure from Antic's standpoint of where their goal was to go to Taiwan to represent OC, obviously they didn't get that done, and that is on us as staff as well as players. But for me, the amount of knowledge I gained from that was incredible. Even if it was just sitting quietly and watching how someone like Swiper would interact with those players, how he would talk to them in VOD review or about things that they to improve.
because I bet everyone has a different way of being. So
Mhm.
just seeing how he deals with in the
Yep.
obviously if you've got like the rank one Ocean
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
depending
It's also just giving them knowledge and then having them kind of come to the conclusion that you may be right or may not be right on their own. Like something I learned with Kanga, it was really easy for me to challenge the players. Only like really one of them had an ego. The rest of them were just sponges. If you told them something, they would take it on board and they would think about it. But with Antic, that wasn't the case. You would tell someone something, and that you'd just get told that you're wrong. um, which I mean, whether that's the case or not, it's you kind of have to attack it from uh, a different angle, if that makes sense. Yeah, some you go over and around or under. Yeah, exactly. But like before, like I just didn't really have rules, if that makes sense. My coaching experience had been either in low elo of where people's main focus is that they have a lot to learn. Like low elo, you don't really at least when it comes to me coaching low ego, I didn't really have issues with ego because they all knew why they were there, right? And then obviously in high elo or the pro scene, every player there is objectively very good at the game, regardless of what you think about OC pros like international skill levels. Every pro that we have representing OCE is objectively very good at League of Legends. So it becomes less about telling them something that they probably already know, and more about having them recognize behaviors in which they can adapt in the game.
because your it probably wasn't very big. They already kind of know into like match
Yeah, it was a lot of data. So like I would look what an analyst for me. I'll give a shout out to Space Doggy who came in halfway through the split. She omega gapped me as an analyst. The stuff that she did with like spreadsheets was crazy. A lot of what I did was just scouting. So it'll be like we would scout Ion, for instance, and we'd be like, okay, they really like Jin if there's no like super tanks in the game. They have a habit of warding this brush at level 1, they stack here, this is how they fan, this is how they trade. Like I'd look for like patterns in like mid lane trading, specifically because like our mid laner was obviously a solo queue player with Incurcio, so trying to help him with his early laning. Um, just kind of that kind of stuff was what I did as an analyst, as opposed to being an assistant coach had like more of a broad spectrum around what I did.
They like laser.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right, you did mention in Curcio. I didn't have to bring
Sure.
because Katarina
Oh yeah, yeah. Not
um
for yeah.
there again. I don't even know if he played Katarina in the, but with solo queue being a much higher, faster pace, solo queue's typically a lot more bloody. What a official game is.
Well,
Right,
more chaotic. Yeah, yeah.
without giving away too much, there's a huge transition from that kind of stage as the actual tournament.
Um, yeah, for sure. I mean, playing competitive and playing solo queue are two very different things. We actually did play a competitive game of Katarina versus Kanga, my old team,
Yeah.
who had a very bad split too. So a bit of a throwaway game, which we won. I think it's the only professional Katarina games and win in history in season 14. So shout out to Akosha there. But yeah, massive difference, especially with AD mids. AD mids really kind of warped the meta of how you approach laning. Um, it became more less about. It became more about prio. You want to prio for your AP junglers and open up the map. And obviously, that's not really something that Katarina was good at. So definitely a learning curve for him to play stuff like Corki and Tristana, which was basically all the competitive meta was in the first few weeks. Um, But I mean, good player, good attitude. I never had any problems with Curcio. I actually enjoyed working with him. Obviously he's got that stream persona, but he's pretty articulate about the game when you speak to him. Outside of it, he's obviously very passionate about what he does.
Like, because as I think about it, right, just not obviously, but Katarina in general.
Yeah, really counterable in pro. Like you just can't pick it in pro play. There's so many champions that are just so good into it. Like, uh,
You could based on like if you slow the game down, right, which typically
yeah,
you're doing fine until and Katarina walks bot lane level 7, picks up 3 kills somehow, and then boom.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
the team that we played Katarina into, he got like counterpicked by Lissandra, and it was a pretty like that matchup, as you can imagine, is absolutely horrible. Um, there's a lot of mid lane matchups that are really bad. There was one I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. There was a matchup that we actually had planned picking Katarina into, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Uh, Apparently it was like really good for Katarina. I think it might be Nico, maybe.
uh, maybe. Like I don't know how the I know in like my games typically, but they lose most.
Well, high elo it becomes more about like wave management. Like you trade on wave management, you trade for priority, and that's why Katarina is a bit grim because you just kind of get pushed in, and you either get dove like they played Lissandra Kazakhs top of my head,
Oh,
or
that sounds like fun.
you either just get dove or the Lissandra's just gonna walk around the map and kill your bot lane, kill your top lane, sync up with the Kazakhs, and just kill everyone.
Yeah.
So that's the woes of assassins like Katarina and stuff in solo queue. Is that they're very feast or famine, but they're never really allowed to because of how structured the play is.
Because I guess everyone's in like communication, right? So you, Katarina leaves like, oh, cat's gone, like back up, right? Whereas in solo queue, you
Yeah, and then
get your
it's just
top of
dropping
page.
waves. Yeah,
Yeah, doesn't matter if you drop waves if you pick up
exactly. But like if you drop 3 waves and you don't pick up 3 kills, like you are beyond fucked.
head in the water pretty much at
Yeah,
that point.
exactly. Like you're now down a massive amount, and it just exponentially snowballs. Because once you're at the point of useless as cat where you can't like all in and kill someone, then like your game's just over. You're relying on other people to get you resets, and that's never a good feeling. Exactly.
Why typically we do.
I mean, this is a Zia patch. Let's go.
We also got some Oriana buffs before Worlds.
Rise as well. Right, Rise is getting buffed next patch.
It's the T1 Worlds patch.
Well, it's actually the dumb one patch. Syndra got buffed as well.
Yeah,
And Showmaker and Knight are probably the two best Syndras in the world. But let's not go down that rabbit hole. I can talk about comp
I
for.
I only have to know someone
They probably do. They're like third in the LCK right now. They're pretty good.
slight tangent because go Gingy T1 Han. I think KT.
Brother, KT lost to fucking Bro,
Ah,
and
but
then
they
beat
beat
GG.
Gingy.
Yeah, I don't know. That team is so. You know what? You know what? I think this is what KT need to do. They need to bring an OCE team because we objectively suck with them to Worlds
Yeah.
and just scrim the OCE team and then lose versus the OCE team before they play GNG.
Ah, yes.
That that
Uh,
that is how KT unlock their full power is when they grief versus someone they're not supposed to lose to. Because them losing to Bro was mental, by the way. Bro were like 1-12.
yeah.
They'd won one. They were almost winless, and then they beat KT, who were playing pretty well. I think they were like even with T1 on the standings. Like they were like top four ish. And then they beat GG. I knew it was gonna happen too when I was watching the series.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's happening. And then I watched him game one, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Not again, right? Like because they did it
I
in
mean,
spring as well.
I'm a big T1 fan. I have been since season 3. You know this. So
Yeah.
obviously I hate Gingy because Gingy is Samsung.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Gingy
oh I'm a big
beaten T1 at
T1.
every opportunity. Where like if they have the roster to beat T1, somehow they kind of always do.
I mean, to be fair though, I'm also a big Chovy at Mara. I think that guy's fucking crazy.
Okay. So to bring it back onto like the coaching analyst,
Yeah, sorry.
since we are talking about like some tier 1 major, how much influence do they have over like your diet?
A lot, but it's not necessarily a good thing. I think there's something that OC and I think that the major regions can do as well is that we need to be better at drawing our own conclusions about what's good.
Uh,
You have very different players. So, like I can't turn in Kershaw into Chovy. Like that's not gonna work.
uh,
So
because
yeah.
it becomes budget choice, right?
It's
And
exactly. So it's about like augmenting what his strength is, and obviously there's a meta in pro play, and the meta is there because it is objectively the safest or strongest way to play. But there's a lot of picks that don't really get considered because they're seen as bad. Example would be I'm coaching this a team in the 2-day tournament. We'll talk about it later. But we've been talking about a pick recently. I'll just Alex. We're probably not gonna play it. It's Nasus.
uh,
So Nasus got played last night in the LCK, and I saw that, and I thought this looks absolutely garbage. Like, why would they pick Nasus when they could just pick Camille or Fiora or Kennen or literally any champion that split pushes that doesn't
yeah,
just get fisted in lane?
yeah,
Um, but then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, that's actually really smart. So you pick Nasus into Kennen because Nasus W shuts down Kennen, shuts down Zeri, and Nasus just ignores Kennen in the lane, and then split pushes better anyway. So like you need to like broaden your thinking about it. But because you don't see Nasus a lot until someone actually has the balls to pick it, you don't really think about that because people just see the champion as like some meme solo queue pick, right?
yeah.
Because Nasus isn't Aatrox or Camille, like whatever the Renekton, the top lane meta has been the same meta for the last 5 years.
Because I guess what ends up happening, person who has the balls to pick it, if they lose on it, they're now clowned for the next. Right,
Yeah.
because I've lost on it. Like, bro, just play the meta. Like, this shit don't work. But it could have just been a really like rough game state early on. Play the game again, and maybe the entire game snowballs, and the pick looks amazing.
Well, these tier one teams scrim a lot. Even we scrimmed a decent amount as well. Like like three or four sets a week or more. Um, Example would be Skarner was an abomination at the start of Split 2.
Yeah,
So
it's amazing.
a lot of my research went into finding an answer for Skarner. And those answers weren't always super conventional. Like like you had the Rumble and the Camille, like Rumble, which is better. Camille, I think, was 50-50. But one matchup I found that actually ended up getting played in LCK, sorry, LPL, and I got really excited about this was actually Mordekaiser.
Yeah,
I said Mordekaiser into Skarner sounds insane for Skarner. Sorry, for Mordekaiser, but it's Mordekaiser and that champion is like kind of dead in comp because it gets kited and it doesn't like side lane particularly as well as other picks. But then it started getting picked in the LPL, and people started using it as a scanner answer. So you just got to kind of broaden your horizons a bit when it comes to that, and see if you can make these picks that have like kind of weird comp identity work into picks that dominate the meta. Because if they pick Skarner and then you pick Cassante, or I mean Cassante Skarner was even, but you pick like Renekton or just something that Skarner just shits on, it's like, well, like, why? Like,
yeah, you just send yourself.
Exactly. Like you're playing into like an S tier meta warping pick, and then you're playing something else that is also meta, but just worse than what they've picked.
Yeah,
So you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, at least in the top lane matchup or the top side matchup.
I always found, especially back in like this is like widely the is teams like the North American teams that would go over to Korea, play the Korean teams in script, right? And then whatever their style was in America, they would adapt to
Yeah.
a shittier version of what the Koreans did,
And then
and
they'll just
then
lose to the Koreans playing Korean light. Yeah,
because the Koreans were just better at it than they.
exactly. And that's the same problem that OCE has, is that we don't have our own defined style. Uh, I was talking to Kirak when he went over to Taiwan recently, Ground Zero support. Obviously, just had one of OC's best runs in Taiwan.
Yep.
And he said, "Man, the Vietnamese, that those teams are aggressive, man." Like he just wasn't used to it. Like I was asking him how scrims and stuff are going. Obviously, I can kind of leak a little bit about it now. He's like, those Vietnamese teams are just balls to the wall, 24/7. They just fight you over everything, and like that's their style. Their style is just to brawl you. They don't actually play League of Legends. They play team deathmatch.
They
Like,
can check you, they skill check you, right? Like
yeah, but that's necessarily not necessarily a bad thing. You see them have success versus good international teams because of that. So it's like, where's our
quite the reason.
defined play style? It's like Gam Esports, yeah. Like, it,
Yeah, we don't really have one like the little I've seen. Like again, seen like a little bit of like fringy stuff, but
like we'll pick like Smolder out of meta. Like
yeah,
Lemus will pick Smolder. Like that's not the most exciting thing we really have.
really getting excited. Like,
It's-
like uh, that thing got fucking dead in the water like 2 after it because it just became Elder Dragon, and so they had to gut it. But
I actually think it's pretty good again, by the way, Loki. I think Smolder's on the rise
is that
with
not because the games are much slower in terms
that's
of
it. The
playing?
the bot lane meta's a lot slower. Yeah, like you have roaming engage support with roaming engage support or disengage support. So you often just neutralize lanes and have support just go and jerk off somewhere else on the map.
Yeah, they go beat
The
up the
AD
mid.
carry just kind of yeah, pretty much yeah. Mid lane's a bit of a nightmare to play at the moment, mate. You're literally just a slave to your AP jungler that randomly has four other people like rotate through your lane as well.
Yeah. Or
Like,
you
oh,
have,
what am I gonna play? What am I gonna play this game? Ari or Talia or fucking Corki or Tristana?
or
Hell yeah,
you've
dude.
got the jungler who's like, "Friend, I ain't touching that useless champion," and then it's just OP as fuck against you every game, and it's like, huh, bro, you want to stop playing Vi and start playing Brand, please? Thank you.
Oh, I wonder if that comment is. You wanna give a little shout out? Does
No, no,
yeah, just
no, no, no shout out. Just Blame.
Does the jungler's name begin with an S and end with an I?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
well, we don't want him on carry champions.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
I was like, holy shit, who am I trying to spell out with this? But
That would be that'll be entertainment actually. I'd love to watch a brand from that man.
I would not because I have to deal with that in the game. Um, yeah,
Just comes in your mid lane, just.
we've got our style, and hopefully it works. Um, I guess we're now transitioning onto this, right?
Yep. Yeah, yeah,
Unless you've
pretty
got,
much.
unless you have anything else that you want to
Nah, that's basically it. I'm done talking about.
done jerking yourself off with your coaching
Well,
analytics stuff.
wouldn't really say jerking myself off. I admitted to learning a lot of things. All right.
Okay, so to brief anyone who does not, who has been living under a rock in the Elo type, shout outs to Dirty Tip Rat and crew of admins. Sorry, I don't actually know any of your other names, um, but they are hosting a 2-day tournament on 23rd and 24th of August. Basically, it's an 8-team buy-in tournament, double elim. Not too sure which time what time it starts. I just know 8 p.m. New Zealand Friday night. And then Saturday, my team will make it available. Um, you've got notable names like Pressure, myself, Griff's playing on the team. I have Cola again somehow. Somehow that man just follows me to every team I'm on. He's just somehow there. Other names such as Nurga's back. Notable old Iron days. Coach, Masters player, Babysitter, aka Golden Features, is around. Oh, there's like Greg, and there's a INF player, Enlists. I think this is,
Yeah, yeah. I like enlists. He's my boy.
and then Bucking Fasted. He's around. He also has One for All, which used to be Good Vibrations as his mid laner. That's a name from the past. So like people have come out the woodworks for the 2-day tournament. Should be a lot of fun. It does. It appears like it's going to be hosted. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. Um, I have a feeling it's going to be hosted much better than Mcom tour
Yep.
because it's over 2 days.
I can
But
I can I can speak on this as well. Actually, I've been talking to Tiprat a lot,
yeah,
and he's very passionate about doing things correctly. Obviously he's got the verification process he's making everyone do, which isn't perfect at all. There's a million ways to circumvent it, but at least he's trying.
yeah.
And he's obviously he's very involved with making sure that the rules are being followed. All the teams are doing what they should be doing. He really does care about making this a good event for OC, which is what I criticized about MCOM.
I feel like because there's still heaps of steam for this, right? If this was a 6-week ladder, which they have their places on certain things, you're able to keep the momentum. But with it being 2 days, right, like buy on the Friday or Saturday, and then we'll talk about it for like a week. But I find that's better than 3 weeks down the line. Oh shit! There are games playing this week, right? Where everyone just kind of forgets or because
Yeah, yeah.
other.
It's interesting because there's an argument for both. Having the elongated tournaments is pretty hype because you have like a lot of time to prep and scrim and get better. Like
Yeah.
seeing a team get better over like from week one to the end is always nice, and that does happen. But obviously the 1 day or the 2 day tournament is going to be infinitely easier to run. Just because they're just you know over quick. You just run the event and it's done. There's no weekly maintenance.
And form on the day matters, right? Like it rock up. Like, I'm really glad it's double elim.
Yep,
Um,
I am too. I like the double elim.
because for on like again, they matters, right? If we
Is it
rock
is it
up,
is it best of one?
it is best of one. I don't know if it turns into best of three. I would presume, right? Just speculate. It's a 2 day tournament. Theory, the finals should be a best of. I would I would lobby for a best of three.
I would
Um,
too.
but I don't know where the obviously like happens, but I don't know where
Like
the cutoff point
lower
is to
bracket,
find out.
lower bracket and upper bracket finals should be best of, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that, right? Because once you get to the top three teams, like we,
Exactly.
oh, like there are
And
some like
this tournament's pretty close in skill level, to be honest. Like I look at the teams now. I would say that the team I coach, probably would be the favorites. Um, but like teams like Roll the Dice, like Bucking Fasted, Flame, Beerus, like they're not bad players. Your team, I've seen Colette hard carry games before. I mean, you're a bit shit, but that's you
thanks man,
can't
appreciate you.
can't all be perfect.
Uh,
Like obviously Pressure's team, like Pressure could just randomly 1v9 like
Pressure in the
him.
Four Wards is their official name by the
Is it is
community.
it is it actually?
No,
That's
but
so good.
it should be
It should be, yeah. Pressure in his
because
four wards, yeah.
I swear that
It's really interesting because they have Cadence coaching them, who's actually a decent coach, and then they
yeah,
also have Sahil or the boosted animal, who was one of my assistant coaches. Not that he assisted me, but also an assistant coach on Antic. And he's really intelligent about the game, but I have no idea why he plays it so badly. Like it's so no, I said okay, Sahil. If you watch this, I love you. Working with you's been a genuine pleasure. You're a really cool guy. I'm glad we became friends.
fuck
But
you.
but my God, you're shit at jungling.
I there's a kind of funny story, right? This is completely on streams or streamed by my jungler. My official first
Wait,
jungler.
was this your mental boom?
Uh
I heard there was a mental boom a few days ago. I didn't watch
uh
it though.
well, I muted it, so there was no mental boom officially. But there was one in the
No, we no we know. It's
um
not it's not a secret, buddy.
no, I'm aware it's not because I had those facial expressions which were great. Nah, cause Spinach, right, my original jungler, shout outs to the man who ran away from me by hitting masters, like the second person to do it.
And then he also broke his hand, so he wouldn't be able to play anyway.
Nah, but if he was in diamond,
He broke his hand. He can't play League.
no, but he broke it after he hit masters.
Yeah, yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like even if he
Yeah,
was in Diamond, he broke his hand anyway. So like,
yeah. Well, anywho, yeah. So he actually called boosted animal garbage, right, in one of the
yep.
scrim sets, and he was an AP jungle meta abuser. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
also coming from
yeah.
someone who didn't want to play.
Nah, I like boosted.
Yeah, it should be an interesting. Um, yeah, like
There's like
I
3 or 4 teams I could realistically I would not be surprised by who wins it, to be honest.
yeah, um, you pretty much just again form on the day is going to matter a lot. Um, probably one of the most exciting things about like I there's actually been a lot of scrimming from players. Like everyone's like getting hyped for it.
Have you guys scrimmed us or are you scared, pussy?
Uh, so I one of my players doesn't like one of your players,
Wait,
and
who's
so
that?
we've avoided it. Our team captain doesn't like team captain.
Can you
Um,
just DM me the name?
we don't like he doesn't like your support.
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest, he's a bit of a douche at times too. So,
who?
a babysitter,
Yeah, but who doesn't like the support?
jungler.
Shuri.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one likes Shuri.
Well, I like Churi as of now.
For now,
Yeah.
until you get sick of him.
When he sprints me down in this tournament, I will release a twit longer about how bad of a jungler he is. Because I have to scapegoat someone, and it can't be me.
No, I have nothing against Shuri, but he does shit talk everyone. To be fair, like
Yeah.
relentlessly. So
Do you see his top 20 players list?
Yeah, it was a bit.
Went pressure to Colat, and I was like, oh my god, he thinks Colat's like the next coming of fucking Umayushi.
I think Colat's decent, but I think that he also has the innate ability to completely mental boom a team. I would have Colat really high on my list if he didn't speak.
Damn.
And this is, no, I'm saying this as a, I like Colat, me and Colat are
Yeah,
friends, but yeah, he has the same effect I do, except I'm slightly better at managing it.
yeah, because
I use the word slightly.
yeah, nah, I picked up on that one because we've had actually four iterations of our roster. Right, so the original one was Shuri top, finished jungle. I played mid and had easy life and lonely. Now those games were horrific because my bot lane couldn't play anything that was not cheap. They were
We're
attempting
just
to
gonna get
run.
absolutely fisted by our bot lane. I'm gonna put
So
this
that
one.
they were running like a Nivea support and like they were doing some like cringy shit.
That sounds hot.
Um, and so like I think me and Spinners just got like tilted, and so I said to his life. So we lost game one in a scrim set. I think it was to Precious team.
Uh huh.
And
You
so
lost. You lost the pressure on us for moving wards. Yep.
yeah. They moved pretty well that game. I had Leona in my lane at like 2 minutes. That's what I'm saying. So I got tilted at the fact that there was no bot lane pressure. Ironic coming from me apparently. But anywho,
That's all he does. He just goes gank me.
weird. He must
I,
have got
I
it
hope
from
you.
someone.
I hope. Yeah, you got it from me actually.
um, yeah, and so we ended up. I said to his
Original
life, I was
coach.
like, "You're playing mid lane. I'm playing AD carry because I at least off roll AD carry.
Sure.
So regardless of what you think of it, I know if I'm down there, it's like Fortune, Ash, Tristana, Jin. Right?
Yeah,
There's no
you
Vayne.
can be carried playing AD carry. You
Yeah,
know, like that's
I'm not thinking I'm the 2018 Uzi fucking roster. You know,
you sure.
I'm I talk like it, but we don't play like it in the game. We play like a complete bitch. Um, and then what ended up happening is finished winning hit masters, and so we reshuffled. So Kolak came onto the roster as AD carry. I moved back into mid lane. Fury moved into jungle, and then we booted his left to top lane.
Yeah, that's
Um,
an interesting one. So you put a little Sandra one trick in top lane.
but he plays Riven apparently. Saw it in a scrim game.
Oh,
And
I want to see this so bad.
look, if we get our warm up game like I'm hoping we do in the first round, and might see a Riven game.
Hopefully you
Um,
play versus us.
easiest warm up game of our life.
True.
Someone's gonna clip that when we fucking lose.
I'm ready for it. Oh,
uh,
we're a team that I would be very certain that we were going to win if we were consistent, but we don't seem to have that part down yet.
yeah, and so as you brought up the mid, might as well talk about it a little bit. My bot lane couldn't coexist. It's kind of what happened. They both wanted to be chiefs. Neither of them wanted to be like the follower.
Uh-huh.
And so it just didn't work. Right, there was like no like big trust between the two of them. So the support stepped back, right? And then we have, according to my knowledge, if he's been verified, which we're having Jay Domus come in. But I got the pick. I've never played with him. I probably won't end up having time to play with him before. That might be a car crash. Um, but it could also go really well. Now there's kind of no excuse in my bot lane
There's
because
always been no excuse in your bot lane.
Colette picked him. Right, and I'm gonna tell this to Colette myself. Don't get to run down 2v2s if he picked his own, because that becomes how you doing. But but yeah, like it's always been a bit scuffed on a lot of my teams. Right, you pick up some high name profiles and it's like, yeah, we have the potential to win, and then half the time it car crashes. Most of the time it car crashes.
Imagine a team with me and you.
We've had that
Oi, oi,
before.
oi. Oi, oi, oi.
We've done that before, and you know it. it was a car crash, but it was a fun car crash.
Yeah, that was the car crash. Like where like it's actually like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
Like it's like we bang instead of like we screams and terror. You
yeah.
know.
Our teammates are screaming in terror as we take turns running down. But yeah, then you've also got like a team that I didn't even mention, and there are some notable players for you on this roster. You've got Munro.
Mhm.
He's playing on the team now. He's playing mid,
I know. I've watched her in scrims.
which is a bit interesting sometimes. And then obviously Seraph, who's like the who
Yeah,
can dream.
that team's terrible.
Well, they did beat us in a scrim set.
Well, then you guys are even worse.
So if they're bad, what are we? You
All I'm
know?
saying is that I filled for that team, played versus Monroe, and reminded her who Daddy is. Oh, I'm sorry, I filled for
uh,
our team. Griff couldn't play game 3, so I played
yeah.
game 3. And I think we perfect game them.
That does sound about right. I I did play the Malzahar versus Irelia matchup and won it as Malzahar. Um, that's a bit of a champion. What I've heard from people. But yeah, like just looking at names on paper without seeing anyone in the server, it looks like there's 4 possible winners if you had to like go off your speculation. I'm always gonna throw my team in there because if I don't think I'm gonna win one day. Um, and
Uh-huh.
then you've also got a team that has, I don't know why it's called Aero did 7-Eleven. But
Yep.
that is you
That's,
guys.
that's that's my team.
That is your team, right?
And
You've
when I say
got
my team, I mean I've done some coaching for them. I don't even know when this tournament's on.
it's on Friday night.
Oh.
The
The
funny
War
thing
Within
is,
comes out then, man. Fuck.
I I saw because using some application called like
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw this, and then like you were in the original like 5-man lineup. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, is he playing? I was like, fucking please tell me he's playing. It'd be like
You
blast
don't
from
you
the
don't
past.
want you don't want me to play. Every time I play, I humiliate you.
That was one time,
No,
like
it's like
2019.
it's literally every time.
Hey man,
Okay, the last Mcom tournament I played, your team literally refused to scrim mine because we would stomp you so hard,
that's because my team was Garbo.
and including you. You would get Omega mid gap by me. I was the original Tristana version, if you remember.
Wait a minute, are you calling me a Tristana merchant?
I was the Tristana merchant.
Was I? Ah, I was
You're a
the
Corky merchant.
actually fair. All my great highlights are on.
We were the original Tristana Corky merchants.
I mean,
Joe, you better pay me some royalties.
then the funnier thing was, right, if you even like date it back to before that, I played Malzahar, you played Azir. Like, obviously,
I
one
remember where
takes
I
more
played
skill.
Malzahar and Oriana and Tesla. There's a clip of me like 4-man shuffling your team.
Yeah, there's also a clip of you like running straight under the tower and dying.
Okay, I DC'd to be fair.
But I looked
Like
at
that is a very obvious DC. Like
I I know, man. I can only see the clip from the caster's point of view, but
okay, the
I look
class
at
of where I run into a tower, stand there and die, and then like try and shuffle out at the last second.
but I look at the clip and then I see my scoreboard and I was like, huh, I'm 0-7 in this game. Weird.
Yep, you have historically always lost to me. You are. This is going to be the end of our podcast. You are actually my bitch,
Wow.
but it's
Don't
okay
worry.
because I love you, buddy. Like
Okay. But don't worry about this. I'm gonna make Griff your mid laner. He's your mid laner. I'm pretty sure he's your mid laner and Arrow's your.
he is my bit later. If you think you're gonna make Griff
I'm gonna
just
make Griff my bitch.
okay,
Take
I
take
think I think that's
write
where
this
we should
down.
do our closing thoughts.
Write this
Is
down. It is 7:39
39.
on a Tuesday night,
Uh huh.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Griff's gonna be my bitch on Friday if he has to play me.
I'm ready. You know what? I'm gonna sub out Griff just for me for one game, just to traumatize you.
Mate, I'm gonna be so traumatized.
You
I
would
don't
actually be
I don't
traumatized.
actually think you're eligible though. You didn't
How am
like.
I? How am I not eligible?
You gotta play in the
Oh, true.
yeah. So even though you are kind of
Oh,
garbage,
oh,
you're
oh.
not eligible. So I'm kind of safe there.
Yeah, so you're saying you're safe, so you're saying that I was a threat to you. Alright, I get it.
Uh,
It's okay, man, it's okay.
right.
But no, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be a good event. Obviously people have come out, made their lists, right? Um, my jungler put me at ninth best player in the tournament, so high expectations.
Sorry, that was rude.
What do you mean? What was rude? Put me
Nothing.
ninth. Wow. Now, since do you have any final thoughts on this 2-day tournament?
No, that's basically it, man. I
Basically,
mean,
it.
yeah.
Gonna be fun watching potentially the car crash of Envy again in his
I mean,
in the tournament.
it's the train wreck that keeps on giving.
It actually kind of is because I haven't played like tournaments in ages. Um, and it's like a bench tour in a way. But
Oh,
obviously I'm
you've had like
getting.
fucking 15 of those at that point, and none of them have really worked out really well.
I've not had revenge in any of them. It's like I'm standing behind someone ready to stab them, and it's a rubber knife. You know,
It's more like it's your trauma tour. You're just there for more.
I'm uh, I'm that girlfriend. Come back.
All right. No, I'm ready for your hot take on why you think the tournament scene died.
So I'm on the record in terms of like the low elo tournaments, right? Like you got the Smurfs, you got the the people being cunts to the admins, right?
Yep,
Play and no one's gonna want to host. Get up your time, you get flamed.
yep,
So that's the abbreviated one. My high elo take, right now, I again preface this by saying low elo pleb for most of my career, even now typically mid elo, kind of low elo, emerald or hard stuck, as people would call it right now.
still
Uh,
basically love it though. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty
Well, no,
much.
not flaming you. It's just about the same. Like
And
platinum emerald,
then
like back then emerald now.
so like my backstory is when BSV was around, I was a tournament admin for a bit and or the server owner for a little bit, and I was just always around the admin team. So they would attempt to run high elo tournament, right? So they'd reach out to players and or oh hey, what's the best day for this? What day will we get the most? And now I do not know who they spoke to. Can't name drop anyone if like but it was never my thing. I didn't really care for the Halo because I was in the small pond, right? We like
Yep,
glass pond. And so my take is with the high elo players not showing up for anything that was being run unless either the prize pool was high enough to like warrant their time, people stopped running things, in which case now they kind of have nothing. So obviously they do have ODT now,
yep.
which to my knowledge is like the
It's like
A
LCO
Academy.
Academy.
Yeah.
LCO Academy. Yeah.
So like there is that stepping stone back into LCO. I don't know if that was ran last year or the year before.
It was ran last
Was
year. Yep.
so like they've
It was
always
ran end of last year and then start of this year, and now there's another one on right now.
yeah yeah that's the Nay Nay's playing it.
Yep. Hey man, all I'm saying, I've won it twice as a coach adjacent. Kagan
Yeah
won it in split one, and then Antic won it in split two. Let's go.
yeah. So like my take is obviously gave up your time play for like a little bit less prize pool if there was one or like use it as like practice. Eventually you may have had more things run for it like for the higher elo players because what I hear now main reason why some people will sit diamond or they'll sit peak is well the only thing I can have that I can play in has all the challenger players, grandmaster players. That big like small big fish small pond I've like joked about quite a lot, even in this. You'd rather be the big dog in the small yard than the small dog, or as most people.
Yeah,
So to clarify my take, I think if the players back then um just gave up a little bit more of their time to eat, right, without needing a serious like prize pool to compete, then you may have had
yeah. It's a bit of a pain. It's also a population thing. OC is so small. I have a lot of EU friends from like World of Warcraft, which I used to play competitively, or like very competitively. And I was chatting to one about League yesterday, actually, who's a Grandmaster player in EUW, so obviously very popular, very skilled server.
Yeah.
Um, Interestingly enough, if you're rank like 14,000 in EUW, you're Diamond 1 ELO. If you're rank 14,000 in OCE, you're in Platinum. That's pretty staggering when you think about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like that.
isn't that crazy? Like, they have 14,000 people around like mid to high diamond in EUW, whereas with us, you'd be high platinum, low emerald at about rank 14,000 on our ladder. That's crazy.
So you so you saying it's the just don't have it up there like
Yeah,
our
yeah. Like right now, like your emerald 4 on solo Q 93 LP, you are ranked 14,758.
yeah.
Like if I look at my EU West EU West friend, who is D1 right now, she's ranked 29,150 at D1. Isn't that mental? So like it is a population thing. So if you want to run tournaments in EUW, to have a D1 and up tournament, you would theoretically have almost 30,000 people you could choose from. If you have a D1 and up tournament in OCE, how many people would you have to choose from? Do you know anyone that's D1 that we could look at?
Do you
Anyone's got like a...
friends? What is I know it's been
Oh yeah, Spinach is like low masters, yeah. Well, he's like 3 LP.
is 1004.
That's exactly the point. So Spinach is 10 LP higher than my friend who's
Yeah.
D190 LP right now. And there is 30,000 people difference. That's nuts. So yeah, I mean that's basically the problem with it, is that we have so few people that a high elo scene for us isn't really sustainable. Because if you have people move up and move down, you don't have enough to run consistent with new people. It's just going to be the same people over and over and over again, and that leads to that problem of people not really having pride in going anywhere, right? Like you think about EU West, you think about people going from low diamond to masters. Then they would have some pride in playing amateur to try and qualify for one of the 9 amateur leagues, right? Like they've got like the LFL and all that, like the tier 2,
Yeah.
tier 3 EU leagues. OC doesn't have that because we don't have the structure to have that. So it's a solution that honestly I'm not intelligent enough to think of a sorry, it's a problem that I'm not intelligent enough to think of a solution for. Um, we're so limited by geography and by player base when it comes to actually setting up real grassroots path to being pro. The only real thing that we have is ODT, and even then, that's also somewhat questionable because it's just the same people in it every time. Like one of the ODT rosters is just basically Kanga's LCO roster from Split 2. Like, what talent are you developing there with Nine God and Cadence? Like, you know, like I don't know. It's a solution I don't have an answer to.
I just think obviously population will play a huge part. Just of the people had back then playing, right? Because of 1,000 might have walking like, and I'm not talking like the some sock stuff. Some socks, the major, and got what the tournament was called. Like the some sort
Yeah,
used to be
yeah,
big
yeah,
for
yeah.
Obviously Valorant type thing fucked up if you ask me.
Oh, very popular. I mean, it's once again, a lot of the sponsorship and stuff comes from us not really having pride in our region, though. Like, talk to pro players or high elo players about being involved in the scene, and there's just not. I don't know. They're just doing it because it's fun and it's something to do. They're not doing it because they really enjoy playing the game or they want to push themselves to be more competitive. At least not everyone is, and that should be the goal. So
I agree. I just think I just like hearing some taken from the second day when like we still had some right. It seemed like one who was high elo who claimed that they had nothing to play in, right? That wasn't like diamond. I mean, you had masters or PvP, right? So the low end diamond players didn't want to play up at diamond, and then flat at the time. Semi ruined that. Gold players, ex diamond players.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's always going to be that, right? Like, people will gravitate towards things that are easy.
Yeah,
Especially in OC, we have really big kind of issues with doing things that challenge us. It seems you got tall poppy syndrome, where if people excel, we really cut them down. So people just generally don't like to excel. Like I don't know. Like well, we had Ground Zero have a historic season of where they lost one game ever, and that was in the grand finals. They dropped one game this entire split. That is insane, even for our region. Like in a region that plays best ofs, because we play best of twos in groups. To lose one game and it was in the grand finals in double elim. That's absolutely an insane achievement, but it doesn't get talked about because people go, "Oh well, we're from OC and we suck anyway." That's such a weird mentality to have about your own region,
yeah, but
in my opinion.
if you look at the region in a vacuum, like obviously the people who are saying, comparing us to UK is the China. Just look at the region in a vacuum, isolated, then again that is like very. I didn't know that, but that's LCO. If I had more players, I knew I might be. That's my friend playing. Right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. But there are people from Iron to Play It that do play in the scene. Like Ash came from coaching from amateur, low level amateur, to Sumsock to coaching Ground Zero last split. Foreigner, who's Antics jungler, comes from Iron to Play It. There's lots
yeah.
of people that come from the scene. Like Cadence has obviously played in the scene for whether he should or not. That's like
Um,
there's a lot of people that come from the scene that we're talking about.
yeah. So Foreigner was a name like I did watch like debut games and stuff, right? Which I
Oh, I'm not saying that you need to watch them because you know them. I'm just saying that, like, there is a point to what we're talking about when it comes to grassroots stuff. It is relevant for building our region. It's just hard to do it.
yeah was typically gonna because if you've got the gatekeepers who like certain like, ops, right? It is a turn off if you get whooped by people who go into play. Even again on the Mcom tournament, right? The one asterisk next to they actually played the game or one they would have climbed much more. We're actually in that bracket playing the big
Yep,
fish.
exactly. I just like being a fish in the ocean. I mean, that's it, man. I'm proud of where I am. I don't need to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a large sea. I just like the game and I like people, and the people that like being around me and interacting with me can keep doing that, and the people that don't can fuck off.
I'm a bit the same nowadays. Like I used to be so much more talkative one. I farm drama, farm attention. Right, just start shit. I'm now a little bit too old for it. I'm 24, turning 25 this year.
Oh, you
Right,
old man.
I am an adult. Um, which
Allegedly.
case, right? So like I do enjoy the yarns to people. The only reason why a podcast would have 5 episodes stage or some shit. Admittedly, the last one was 6 months ago. Did YouTube
Oh,
channel, but if I didn't enjoy having the yarns to people, like my favorite episode, unironically, sitting down chatting to someone about shit that happened, and like disclose all the shady shit, right? Which would get them in trouble. Now it's like statute of limitation on. I can be like, fucking Hirogi Smith in my team, right? Which
oh yeah, but everyone knew that anyway, though. That wasn't like a
nah, no, but like, in case they didn't,
yeah, okay, yeah, but like everyone did, like everyone.
yeah, I just had my head up against it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and like even their chats with Olat and other people, shit has happened on teams. Like, oh, happened like a month ago, so we probably shouldn't say it yet. Yeah, the statue on it kind of happened.
Yep,
Uh,
fair enough. I mean, I just like yapping. I'm a yapper.
you know, yeah,
Okay.
too.
Hell yeah,
Um,
brother.
so I want your opinion. Who wins the Friday
We
Saturday?
do.
You do.
Coach Cap.
Okay. Do you drop a game?
Yes.
Are you gonna predict who you drop the game to?
Yes.
Who do you drop the game to?
The bronze and iron team.
Him?
Yeah, there is a bronze and iron team.
Okay. But that would be very you guys.
It would. I've seen us in scrims. It's like when we take it seriously, we're good, but when we go ha 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 ha, we're gonna fall fun. Uh,
Not so good.
yeah. Well, you know what? I just need to do what I do normally to Griff when it comes to like focus up. I just need to terrorize him. See, Griff has some trauma being coached by me now, and I can tap into that trauma to
Uh
make him play Tristana and Corky.
yes. Make him play the mid.
Yeah, pretty much. No, we have some spicy or not so spicy picks. I don't know.
Same.
The roster I'm playing with is very interesting, with the emphasis on the first three letters and the word interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I Diana might come out.
Oh, please! I want to cast it so bad. Oh,
uh
let me cast Envy, please.
and here's my fun story. Wrap this up.
We'll wrap it up. Yeah, yeah. I need to do stuff.
I I scrimmed Precious team,
Uh huh.
A and lock on it. Back
Uh huh.
when my Mcom team was a thing, which had like Elikis, myself,
Yeah.
that
So
guy.
shit team. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. This shit is right.
Uh huh.
Uh, I played
With
Diana
you as
mid,
the leader and king.
clearly like king shitter, with my crown.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played Diana mid into Oriana. This only game we ever took off pressure and Nay and stuff in scrims.
Was when you played Arya, Diana.
Yep,
I'm
I
very
killed
proud
him,
of you.
and then ever since then, Pressure's been afraid of it and he's banned it. So what does that say? One trick pony.
You are one trick.
I'll figure out which champion is my one trick on Friday night. We'll flip. That was a Harakorki.
Oh hell yeah, brother.
Or is yeah, bust out in the Zig.
I would cry.
know what? If there is an actual iron/bronze team, my team's not gonna like this, but I will guarantee you I will play something fun in the game.
There is an iron to bronze team.
Okay, if we match them, I'll play something fun.
All right. Well, you enjoy that. Let's do it. Let's do our wrapping up. I need to go and yap at other people.
Always yapping.
I'm
Yap
always
never
yapping.
stops. Right, I've been Envy, your host and/or professional yapper. I've had secondary yapper Novah and
Captain America.
Captain America. Is that you or me? That's you.
That's me.
I'm definitely Deadpool.
You're not Deadpool. Deadpool's actually funny and
Oh,
likable and good
and
at what he
good.
does.
Ah,
Yeah.
damn. Right.
So like you're not Deadpool.
Okay. Clearly Batman then.
You're
So,
you're like you're nice ball.
oh, yeah. Good. Right. So I appreciate you coming on, Nova, to the podcast.
Thanks, Daddy.
And I will see you guys in the next one.
Hell
Peace.
yeah, brother.